Hello, welcome to the We in Wellness Conversations and Meditations with Dr. K. I'm going to ask you about, do you have wellness practices?
Oh, yes.
Oh, all right. Teach me something.
Um,
Teaching is the Hubbard love language for those who don't know.
well, yeah, it is. But now I struggle with consistency. I do. I struggle with consistency a lot. It's another, just like procrastination, trying to be consistent in a good habit is tough. Um, but I very consistently do journal. Um, so I I can be semi-consistent if I pull up, pick up a notebook, fill out a page. I could do that somewhat consistently, but what has really, really gotten me to be extremely consistent is I use an app on my phone, and not only is it a really great journaling app that gives me prompts every morning, and it's very short, so I can write just a little if I want to, and I still got it done. But it also locks up all of my other apps, so I have to use it before I can use my phone. So I don't have that problem of like, oh, I wake up and check Instagram or TikTok or anything like that. But I will wake up and then I will check the weather, and then I will
Okay.
think about my day, and then I'm like, oh, I kind of want to do this, I kind of want to do that. Ooh, I want to learn about how to do this, and then I'm like, there's a YouTube tutorial about how to do this thing. And then I go and find that. And that's how I waste so many mornings. So uh by being super nerd. So yeah, so this app helps me a lot. As I'm, they can't sponsor me or anything, but it's called Stoic. I actually found it by accident because I started reading about the Stoics and Stoic philosophy.
Hmm.
Um, so after I read about, I think I read 3 books. And I'm like, all right, that's enough Marcus Aurelius for this guy for a while. But then but one of the guys who wrote one of the books, what is his name? Something Holiday, Josh Holiday, or some very whimsical name like that. And
Oh,
uh, he talked about, oh, there's this app that just came out, and I'm checking out, and it seems pretty good. So it does. It'll have like it'll use Stoic philosophy in in the journaling prompts and stuff. So I'm like, oh, so I downloaded it, found out it could lock up all my apps, and I'm like, oh, so I think I'm at like day 750 in a row. Yeah. So yeah, I'm around
wow. That
750.
rivals my Duolingo streak.
Yeah. It has
That's
been the most consistent thing I've ever done in my whole life. So that is part of my wellness. What it does is, so journaling for me, and I think for most people, when you do morning journaling, what it does is it helps your brain reframe itself to prepare specifically for this day.
mhm.
And that is so important. And it's different than the schedule. It's different than other things that we try to do daily to prepare for our days or figuring out what we got to do tomorrow. Because when I journal, I don't know what's going to come out. I don't know, you know, from yesterday morning to this morning, my brain has constantly been thinking, constantly doing things. So I don't know what's going to come out when I get prompted, when it's like, oh, how do you feel about this? Or what do you think about that? I don't know what I'm going to say until I just start saying it. So it allows me to pour off a lot of the thoughts and things that are in the back of my mind, and
Mm.
it gives my brain room again to then focus on the current day, the current tasks ahead, because I've been able to dump a lot of thoughts, sometimes silly and pointless, sometimes like really good and like, ooh, I'm keeping that, or oh, I'm putting this in the notes app and I got to use this in something. You just never know what's there. And to get that out first is like, yeah, it's like opening your computer and then you like empty the trash and you clean out the RAM and then boom, and now we're starting fresh and ready to uh yeah, ready to do the work of the day. So I love it. I want to start meditating again more
Hmm.
frequently. I think that uh, there's a question I get sometimes on that app where it's like, do you believe that there's a cure for daily frustrations? Which is such a curious way. Yeah. And I'm like, that's a hard question. And then I'm like, oh, but it's a good one. So my answer is typically like, I do think there is a cure. I think that that comes through just a really, really good balance
Mm.
mentally. And I think that can only really be achieved or achieved consistently overall through meditation. Um,
Hmm.
I did a 10-day meditation retreat once. So the
Ooh.
yeah,
I'm saying ooh because I've also done it. But
yeah,
yeah,
Vipassana.
before you get into this, let me
Yes.
explain my experience before you terrify everyone.
All right.
Okay, yeah. So I did Vipassana or however you say it, whatever. Um, it is a Buddhist style, and you start to learn how to meditate. It's like, but it's a very intense body scan is the way I would identify it. If you don't know what body scanning is, that is being able to really focus on how you feel in a present moment. So they start you off slow and you're focused on breath, and then you feel the breath on your upper lip, and that's like day 3. And the next thing you know, they're like, feel how you feel in your whole body. So I'm gonna tell my story because I'm co-opting at this point. And the first time I did it, I felt my face vibrating, and I was like, I'm here and I'm also like right here. And it was really uncomfortable. And I just wanted to put them back together. Uh, and then I realized, oh wait, I'm sitting in a room with other people who are meditating, but I can breathe differently. I can open my eyes. I can stop. I don't need to be, a masochist of perfection. Is that the right word? Sadist, masochist? I mix those up. Anyway, I don't need to be someone who is perfect at this by
Mhm.
continuing to not feel good. And I quickly realized that that is what my anxiety feels like. And so when I want to know if I'm anxious in a moment or if I'm excited or if I'm whatever, I can scan for that feeling. And if I'm vibrating beside myself, then I'll do a practice that aligns me and I'm like, cool, I don't need to I can acknowledge the anxiety and move forward. So that is what I learned from that 10-day silent, can't journal, can't read, can't look at your phone retreat. So how was yours?
So, um, it was interesting. I did learn a lot. I really did like at the end of the night they show a little video. It was like a VHS, it seemed like. It was like a little video of the guy's name was like Essen Goenka or something like that. He was very funny, which I
Hmm.
loved. Uh but very informative. But it showed me how deep meditation could go,
Hmm.
which was the huge lesson from that. I was like, oh, meditation isn't just a thing where you just sit there quiet for 5 minutes and then you just calm. No, this was like, oh no, you're gonna sit here for an hour at a time, several times a day, and you will be in complete silence the entire 10 days. You don't speak at all to yourself, to anyone, to nothing. So I'm like, okay, so that it's like a what they call it, the deprivation chambers.
Hmm.
Sensory, yeah, it's like a
That's
sensory
right.
deprivation chamber, but you're walking around and you're eating and you're doing so you're like living, but you're in the chamber because you are so isolated. You're not speaking at all. And I'm like, okay. And if you can't tell by now, I'm a pretty big talker.
Oh
So
yeah.
not being able to speak for 10 days already seemed like, man, I don't know if I could do that. So I did it. I wanted to die. I wanted to die so bad. I I would the things that gave me the most joy by like day 4 was I would be walking like from my room, from my little room to the next, thing. And I would see, I remember there was this big silo and it was really tall and it had this ladder on the side, but the ladder was broken off, like so you would have to do some serious to get up high enough to get to the ladder to get to the top. And so I would just think of ways of how could I get to that ladder so I could get to the top and jump. And that gave me so much joy. And then it had rained a little bit, so now the ground was a little muddy, and I was like, ooh, if I jumped, I wonder if I could do like a scorpion where your back legs come up over and then just like clip because it's mud and then just stay like that. And just seeing that image, it made me smile and laugh to myself. And I did not realize like, oh no, you are in crisis having suicidal ideation, but you also love comedy and creation and so you're trying to do it all at once. So you were trying to be suicidal and trying to make it hilarious at the same time, and it's very weird and disturbing. So, and I was fine, people. I was fine.
Mhm.
And if you feel like you are having any ideation, you can always call 988 if you are in the United States. It is the suicide hotline, and
Yes.
they have specialists for veterans and people in the LGBTQIA community and others. So
Amazing.
I tell
Um,
all my vets, call the line. But anyway, but yeah, so so yeah, I've had to go through that. I did, but I'm glad I went through it. I'll never do it again because I can't do 10 days of silence. But it did show me meditation is so powerful. Like mind over matter, mind over body is real. Like your mind determines even more than what we feel like it can. And we have to remind ourselves. And I think that, yeah, the cure to frustration is meditation, probably, at least for me.
yeah, yeah. It's a cure to many things. Um, and I'm realizing I've been prompted more recently. Like folks have been asking because they see me meditate. They like I go to the gym and I meditate because it's a rooftop. And I do some yoga before I meditate. But do I make it to the weight machines every time I'm there? I do not. But but now I might be sort of known as like the girl who meditates on the rooftop. Um, and so I've been getting questions like, "Oh, you meditate, you must be so zen." And I'm like, "No, I meditate so that I'm not because I'm not zen all the time."
Yeah.
Um, and I'm meditating more because I finally got in touch with anger. Um, but I think there needs to be, and I'll see what I can do, but there needs to be a meditation starter pack for people with ADHD and neurodivergent brains because I spend a lot of time counseling folks in session where I'm like, okay, if you they say meditate, sit still, be quiet, but then they're like, but don't have a monkey mind. Like just focus on breath. But like that's not how you're wired. So there's ways to do more active forms of meditation, like if you're doing a repetitive motion or if you have a mantra that you can circle back and focus on to. Some people I
Hmm.
have them use tech to help them meaning guided meditations, right? Of course, but flame meditations I think help a lot. So you could burn a candle in real life and watch the flame flicker, and it has enough changeability to keep an active mind engaged. But then it
Mm.
also is just one thing. So that's another way to do it. And there's YouTube videos of like 3 hours straight of just like a candle burning. So you can just watch. Um,
All
so
right.
those are
I'll have
some
to
tips.
try the candle one.
Yeah, the
I
candle
think
one's
I
cool.
want a real candle. If I'm watching a 3-hour candle video, I feel like there's more. more issues I should address.
3 hours is a really long time. But I think some people will watch and fall asleep or whatever. I've used that in group dynamics. If I'm leading a session virtually and we have like a 10-minute meditation, I'll pull up a candle and then we'll do reflections. So it works. So that's why the video is useful. But
Okay.
get a real candle.
I have
Um,
some.
oh,
I do.
that's new. Witchy vibes.
Yeah. I have a witchy girlfriend, so of course I have candles.
I have a question. Um, You are also one of the people closest to me who has done plant medicine, I believe psilocybin and ayahuasca journeys. I don't know.
Yes.
Could you tell me first, I want to know how you got from like whiskey, firearms, and tobacco to, oh, I'm someone who would do a plant medicine journey.
Well, apparently, there any drugs can be gateway drugs.
Okay.
I'm not gonna out myself on which things I have tried over the years, but I will say that by the time I got to, oh yeah, I'll try some mushrooms, and oh yeah, I will go and do ayahuasca. It was easier. Some people, it's like, oh, this is where my spiritual journey has taken me to. For me, it's like,
Mhm.
well, I've done a lot of other weird things to my body, so why not? I've been so many of the other types of high at some point, sometimes. So sure,
Yeah.
let's see what this one does, and uh, so
Yeah,
there's
so
that
there's a
part of it.
path for everyone. That's the message.
Yeah, exactly. There is. But and I don't recommend most substances, especially illegal ones. Schedule one, don't do
Mhm.
those. But uh I will say that what I think that all drugs, what all the substances, and all of the plants, I think that they are all related in the sense that it is our search to alter our minds for several different reasons. Sometimes to escape some type of pain or trauma, sometimes to maximize to more fully enjoy a moment that we want to be special, but it's all related to we want to chemically help our minds shift either for a moment or to shift its perspective so that we can change for the rest of our lives, right? Um, yeah. So even though I don't think anyone should ever do or try heroin, and I never have, uh, when I hear a musician or songwriter is like, yeah, I did a lot of heroin, then I wrote the greatest song I've ever written. I'm
Mhm.
like, stupid, stupid risk, but I get it because you
Yeah.
reshaped your mind in a way that it wouldn't have been before.
Yeah.
Um,
I
so yeah,
think
so
that's how we
my
got songs in the key of life.
probably, yeah, yeah, I could see that. Yeah, and it's art can be just as epic sober. There is millions of examples of it throughout history, kids, but but yeah, but it's the whole reshaping your mind. You can go to a place, you can see a new view and stuff like that. It does the same thing. When I see a mountain, I have thoughts that I wouldn't have had if I didn't look at that mountain. Um,
Hmm.
yeah, same thing. It's reshaping your perspective, your mind. So my journey was, twofold. I was going to be open to it probably. I have had a lot of witchy friends. My sister was getting increasingly witchy over the years with all her hippie things. Um, and me going from, yes, the like whiskey, firearms, the military life. We don't have a lot of witchy people, at least when I was in. I served from 2005 to 2013
Mhm.
and went to Iraq. And so, yeah, we were all still kind of, tough and rugged and blah, blah, blah.
Mhm.
Um,
Yeah, I don't do
yeah,
yoga. Yeah, I remember.
right. But we were very liberal socially. We served with yeah, a lot of, all of the LGBTQIA plus community serves with us proudly. We love them, they love us. They're just as good as any other soldier I've ever met. Um, but yeah, but it's definitely like, oh, I'm gonna go and do this thing. You just don't tell people like, wait, what? Yeah, I'm gonna do a sound bath, and then I'm gonna do, you know, and then I'm gonna do yoga, and then I'm gonna meditate for a full hour, and then, and then I'm gonna go on
Don't
a
forget that.
psilocybin journey, and then none of these things resonated with me. All of this, and I called it all hippie all for years, um, 'cause that's what you do. And I leaned toward Western everything, including Western medicine. So it was because of what I knew, was what I was used to, was what I was comfortable with. And one thing the military teaches you is that even if your situation is the sucky situation, learn to love the suck, because this is what your situation is.
Uh,
So I didn't want to accept that, oh, maybe all of this weird stuff is, uh, that there's really something to it. But when I got introduced, it was first to mushrooms, and I was dating a woman who she had done both, uh, mushrooms and ayahuasca, but she made it very clear to me. She was like, "Look, we're gonna date. It's important that you not only understand that I like to do these, these hippie things, and that I am into these two types of ceremonies and stuff, but even if you never do them, you have to respect them." She was like, "I'm sick and tired of people who, not just men, but definitely men, who who come from somewhere else, and then with their ignorance, because they don't understand, like they think it's weird, they just make constant jokes." And she was like, "We've gone on a few dates. You're a very funny person. You make jokes off the cuff. You cannot joke about this, or it will be over immediately." I was like, "Oh, okay." I respected that.
yeah.
It's glad she told me that.
Hmm.
And yeah, and so then I did some mushrooms with her. We went on a camping trip. We did a lot of mushrooms. Um, so it wasn't the, oh, look, and I had done mushrooms before, but I had done a little bit. It was like, oh, you do a little, and then, oh, the colors pop a little more, and you're enjoying all this psychedelic-y uh, version of, the music that you listen to, or whatever thing that you're doing. This is different.
Hmm.
We are out in nature. We are in a tent. I have taken an entire Ziploc bag of mushrooms. I can't get the taste out of my mouth, but I'm also scared because this is so many mushrooms. And I was like, I don't know what's gonna happen. So then it started to hit. It was starting to get a little dark, and we're in the tent. Open the door of the tent, and I'm leaning out, like just have my head like leaning out of the tent, and I see the ground swell with my breath. It's moving up and down. Yeah. So as I breathe, the earth breathes with me. And if you saw this like in a video and you're not experiencing it, it would scare the
Hmm.
crap out of you. It seems so scary. In that moment, it felt so good. I felt so connected
Yeah.
because it's like, oh, I am one with the earth. I'm connected to the earth. I breathe, the earth breathes. So every time I breathe, I saw just the earth, the dirt just swell with me. And then after a while, I turn around, I'm on my back, I'm looking up at the stars. And then I could see all the stars. They were super bright, but then I started to see these little faint red lines in between the stars. Like they're all like connected to each other. And it was faint enough where I knew that the red lines weren't truly there. It's like, oh, when you take this, now you can have super sight and you see the red lines that are there. No, but
Oh.
it was a visual representation of the connection between all of the stars in the universe as a whole, where it's like the stars are not individual stars. It is a web that, it's a web of the heavens that surrounds our universe, our world. Um, in a way that also works together. And I started to think a lot about philosophy. I started to think about history and mankind. I remember I had this thought of like, oh man, think of how different people in different times, like how useful and wonderful the stars have been. There have been times where people look up at the beauty of the stars, and that alone has been enough to like save their life. That has been enough for some people to be inspired by insane art. That has been enough for, for people to study and learn how to navigate the entire world off of
Mm.
just these little bright spots in the sky. It's like, but everybody has looked up at the stars. That is one of the most universal things that no one has ever told any of us we needed to do.
Mm-hmm.
And we've almost all instinctively at some point, and usually many, many times, have just done it. Get outside, we start, we look up at the stars, and we feel something. So I'm
Mm-hmm.
like, here I am, I'm looking up at the stars, I'm feeling something. And trillions of humans have done and will do this, for billions of years. So I'm like, okay, that feels good. I feel more connected. I feel, and I think that connecting to humanity is important because then you feel like, okay, not only am I not fully, I can never be fully alone. I will always be some positive part of the world. If I were to die today and I hadn't accomplished all of the long list of things I wanted to do, even just the nutrients that I offer the world is a positive thing. And how many people did I hurt versus how many people did I help? You know, have I been positive? And so I'm like, okay, if I died today, yeah, I'd feel like too young, too early. I didn't do as well all the stuff I wanted to do. But was it positive? Yeah, yeah. So I did good, you know. And so just having these types of thoughts helped a lot. So that was awesome. So then a few months later, the same partner, she was ready to move me to the high level of ayahuasca, Mother Aya.
Mother.
Yeah. So the way she spoke about this and the way others spoke about it, it sounded insane.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, what? And he's like, yes, so you have a Peruvian shaman who, and I'm like, okay, okay, wait, pause. What? So it was a lot to it. And then I'm a big carnivore, and it's like, okay, so you can't eat meat for, 3 weeks. You gotta eat very cleanly. And I'm like I could say no to a hot pocket, but not the cleanest eater. Yeah. I'm like, all
Mm-hmm.
right, no takeout, no nothing. Cool. All right,
Yep.
more rabbit food,
Okay.
less good tasting things. And I so I did all of that. I took it seriously, which I felt is important because I'm like, all right, this is important not just to her, but to so many other people.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna try this and I'm gonna take it seriously because it's disrespectful if I don't. So I did. I go, and then I get there. I met very interesting people. All of them were very nice. Some of them were a bit annoying. I met a very obviously white woman. Um, she asked me my name. I told her, "Yeah, I'm Willie. Nice to meet you." And I said, "What's your name?" And she said, "I am called," which already was like, "Uh-oh. I am called Red Star." Uh, okay. Well, nice to meet you, Red Star. And then I made the mistake of asking how she got that name. Oh, so how did you get this name? So she said, it's my Native American name. And I said, oh. I was like, oh, so you're Native American. And she said, well, no. Oh, God. She's like, well, no, but the name was given to me by an old Native American woman.
Hmm.
And so I started to be like, oh. And she's like, in a dream. Oh.
Ma'am. Ma'am.
Yep. And I was
Got
like,
so
oh,
this
I
is
said,
this is
yes. So I'm like, so these people are in there too. but
Got
don't
it.
let it discourage you.
Yeah.
Um,
I was
but
like, this
I'm
is where we
like,
put in a disclaimer of
mm-hmm,
research the place you go to do things like this.
yes. But this is
I love a
so,
curated
but
group.
but the reason I mention this, I mean, it is funny, but the reason I mention it too is because it gave me a lot of that confirmation bias where it's like, ah, see, I
Yeah.
knew I was doing the stupid white hippie thing. I got to
Uh-huh.
get away from these granola people, you know. And no, it was just her. Everyone else was great.
Oh,
And
oh, okay.
so yeah, so we do the ceremony, and right before a lot of people had told me the same thing over and over, and they kept saying, "Don't be afraid to purge. Don't be afraid to purge." And I'm like, I okay, all right. And so I'm thinking, yeah, you know, emotions and feelings and thoughts, and you know, don't be
Oh no.
afraid to let go of your old self. And yes, I'm ready to purge. Let's do this. And everyone's like, wow. And this is your first time? Like, yeah. And they're like, so brave. I love it. All right. Yeah. He's ready to purge, y'all. This is great. Like, yeah, let's do this. We're gonna purge. So so when the ceremony starts, the first thing they do is they give everybody a bucket.
Yeah.
And I am like, oh, I mean, I didn't bring a lot. We're only doing like overnight and I'm going home. I don't think I'd have enough trash where they need to give us each a little trash can. Seems odd. Had a little bag in it and everything, and I'm so that was my first thought. Like everyone gets a little office trash can with a little bag in it, and I'm like, how many things do they expect me to throw away overnight? Like, all right, strange. And then they told us, okay, so if anybody needs a new bag, if you have filled your bucket and you need a new bag, don't worry. We have a few aides here that will be coming around, and they will change your liner. And I'm like, was I supposed to bring a lot to throw away? Now I'm confused.
Oh my God. I have okay, yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because it was something that they had left out. And so I am like, okay, that now I'm thinking, oh crap, I think I was supposed to bring like a bunch of like old things, maybe an old
Yeah, to
photo of a
purge.
person that I'm no longer friends with, or you know, to just like throw things in the bucket to let go. No, 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 no,
Release
no.
ceremony.
Yeah, exactly. No, no,
I'm
no,
like,
no.
no, you brought with you what needed to be purged. You did.
Yep. Yep. And so what I didn't realize was like, oh, this is for lunch. This is for all of the meals I've had in the past 12 hours. That's what this bucket's for. That's okay, cool. Uh, so they so because I asked very quietly, I was like, wait, so what do we do with the buckets? And they were like, oh, that's to purge. I'm like, but to purge what? Like I didn't bring, and they said, oh, um, so it's a reaction to the medicine. You will purge. And I'm like, this drug makes you throw up. Whoa, 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 whoa. We do not call it a drug. It is medicine. And no, no, no. You do not throw up. You purge. So, so I decided not to fight it, at least not the words anyway. And I was like, okay, I'm not going to fight with the words anymore. So I'm like, okay, well, thank you for clarifying. But in my head, I'm like, using different, like, just because you pulled out a thesaurus doesn't mean that I'm not going to throw up in a bucket because of this drug I'm taking that I paid y'all like $300 to do. Like, change the words all you want, but I am now realizing I'm in a horrible situation. So so now I'm terrified. So we start the ceremony. The Peruvian, you know, we have a real Peruvian shaman. Well, at least a real Peruvian. I wasn't sure what a shaman was at the time, but he was, and he had all these wonderful instruments with them and percussion and um, yeah. And so he starts the ceremony and he's sitting up at the front, and then everyone takes turns. They go up there and then they kneel down. They get their this little bowl of the medicine. They drink it,
Mhm.
So then I get told right before someone whispers to me, like, "Hey, um, the taste can be." I hate when they say "can be" when you know it
Because you
damn
know it
well is.
is. You know it is.
The taste can be a little bitter.
A
So
lot. Mhm.
when you drink it, um, then they offer you uh, a grape, and so just take the grape, and that eliminates it. You're good. I'm like, oh, okay. So I'm like, all right. I mean, I've had more than one night where some reason Jägermeister was the best choice, so I can handle this. I'm army tough. So I
Mm.
get up there. I drank this thing. It is like it's like someone blended uh raisins and licorice and then just whatever and then like for some reason like some lettuce and just stuff around the house. And then somehow it's also gritty. It was so many things I was not prepared for. And as when the guy the shaman's doing the thing, he's smoking, but he's
Mhm.
smoking like this like this tobacco, but it's like pure tobacco. Not it's not a
Okay.
cigarette, it's a rolled up, it's tobacco, which I'm like, I didn't know we could smoke in here. I could have brought my smokes. But cool. Uh cool. I'm like, y'all are the same people that if anyone ever smoked around you, we don't want your poison, sir. Like y'all are the same crowd. So, all right, we're all locked in this room. This guy is smoking and blowing the smoke over our medicine. And so I'm like,
Yeah.
interesting, but it's ceremonial and it's to cleanse it, it's to
Mhm.
purify it, it's to get rid of whatever the evil spirits to make so I'm like, okay, I respect that. If this has been going on for hundreds of years, probably more to it because it's been around way longer than me. So, all right. So then gives me the thing. I take it. I do everything in my just tighten my face. I'm like, yep, that's the worst thing I've ever had in the whole. Like, I can handle it. Everyone else was just fine. The 100-pound white women just like, thank you. No. Oh, I don't need the. Oh, I
I
don't
don't
need the
need
grape. And they walk, like, and I'm like, and I'm looking at the grapes, and he hands them to me. But he like, and I take a grape, and as soon as I take one, he moves it way over, and I'm like I need a handful. This is doing nothing. So, so I go back, I lay on my mat, and now I'm like, okay, I don't know what's gonna happen, but I am not using that bucket. I don't care what nobody says. Nobody makes me throw up.
Oh, sir. Oh, sir.
Not Jack, not not Jim, not Jameson, and not a Peruvian shaman. So
Oh
I'm
my
like,
God.
I haven't thrown up since that terrible night when I was 27. Like it's been so long. This is not a toilet hugging situation. So anyway, so
Mhm.
so I'm like, I'm refused. So I lay there, start to feel it in my stomach, but nothing bad. It was just like, oh, getting a
Mhm.
little warm. But then the medicine starts to take hold. Now, this experience is unlike anything I've ever experienced ever. It was great. I loved it, and it was similar to mushrooms in the sense that it felt connected. I felt grounded, but in a different way.
Mhm.
So colors seem to all separate granularly into their RGB and
Mm.
gray. And
Okay.
so everything looked like gray with dots of red, blue, and green. And so everything was made and everything looked like it was made out of the exact same material. So now I'm looking around this room. I'm laying on my back, but I'm looking around this room. My head's elevated a little bit, and people, the walls, you know, just every object, everything in the room all look like it was exact same color, uh, in this weird way, almost like concrete, but like speckled with sprinkles, you know. It was like,
Hmm.
but it was very interesting, and I liked it. And I'm like, and it gave me that thought. It reframed my mind, thinking like, reminding me like, oh, that stupid pillow that too many of these granola whites have, that we are all stardust. I see it now, you know. We are
Hmm.
like, we're all made of the same material. We're all made up of the same atoms and so I'm like, oh, and now I see it. So now I feel it, you know.
Mm.
And and then weird things like somebody would, if someone stands and they hold still, they go
Mm.
perfectly still. Like
Oh.
yeah. And then they move and it looks like some sand falls off of them, like they like shift, and it's like a statue moves. It's wild. That's what I saw. And but it was, and all of this again, you put this into a movie where you're not experiencing any of this and you are
Mhm.
just seeing it, terrifying, weird. You
Mhm.
experience it, wonderful, eye-opening, amazing. So I felt so connected to humanity, so connected to life. And then they start playing music. The
Mhm.
music is amazing. It's not something that I would just like play on my own on Spotify. It's not that kind of vibe. But
Mhm.
under this medicine, it's the best thing you've ever heard. They sing,
Yeah.
and they yeah, and the music is mostly percussion, and you're listening, and as you feel the percussion, you feel it in your body in a way. And then uh what I found out later is like, oh, they do these songs, they do this song because it is encouraging you to purge. So I started to feel it in my body, and I'm like, oh, I'm starting to feel it, and it's like, oh no, I feel this feeling of I'm being like encouraged to purge.
Mhm.
I'm not gonna do that. It's not gonna happen. So I did not. But here's what was interesting. I was like, nope, fighting it, holding it, fighting it. But this is great. I'm loving what I'm experiencing. Someone else, became the first person like to purge. Now, in retro, like before all of this, I was like, oh my God, am I going to be trapped in a room with a bunch of people throwing up? Like that is, I can handle throw up better than most people.
Hmm.
Um, it doesn't make, I'm not one of the people where you throw up and then now it makes me want to throw up. It's gross, but like I have been the guy that cleans up the throw up of kids or um, or a partner or something without a problem. So I ended up uh taking my bucket, getting it close to me, but I was like, but I'm not gonna do anything. I'm just gonna this is gonna be fine. And then someone else purged. And I thought this would have been something that would have been like, ugh, or grossed me out, or that I would have smelled it or something. Nothing. I smiled. That was weird. Somebody purged, and it made me smile, and I was like, yeah, get it out. This is
You
wonderful.
smiled.
I smiled. Yeah, there's like somebody, yeah, there's somebody 6 feet away from me, and they're just, and I am like, yes, let it out. There you go. I felt like my spirit is supporting their spirits, and it's just like, and then other people started to purge at different times, and you just like, yeah, do what you do, guys, like this is, and it wasn't like a morphine kind of like pharmaceutical kind of high thing. It was just like, oh, I genuinely feel like you are probably getting something out of you that needed to come out, and I love this for you, you
Mhm.
know? And I'm not the type of person that ever says, I love this for you. That is, but
You
I
were not.
felt it. No,
You were
I'm
not.
not.
I've literally never heard you say that phrase.
Right.
Wow.
Yeah. So yeah, so it was eye-opening for that reason. I actually did not purge, and I was like, hell yeah. Hold firm. And then near the end of the night, I was like, all right, I think I need to go to the restroom. So I found out that, oh, you're gonna purge.
Uh-huh.
Uh, but you decide from where. So I was like, oh no, I made the wrong choice. And and I signed up for 2 nights. So I'm like, in a row. So I'm like, okay, that was a poor choice.
Mm.
I guess next time I should purge from the correct uh orifice. So I so the next day, go home, I rest. Telling my partner, like that was better than I thought it'd be. It was like wild. I feel connected, but I feel really tired. But I'm like, this was something. She's like, all
Mm.
right, we're gonna do it again tonight. And she was like, it's gonna be harder. Second night's always harder. I'm like, okay. So we go back, we do it again, and uh I'm still upset about the grapes, and I'm like, dang, I had time. I could have snuck some. I could have hit up a Jewel Osco and got some grapes and snuck a few in my pocket or something. Why did I not remember one grape? um, yeah. Day two, the medicine is stronger.
Mm.
I found out later that it's made a little bit stronger on purpose, and as they mix it and then they use it and stuff, it's the same stuff from the day before. So then it's like it's more condensed. I don't know. It was a little more bitter. But yeah, I got the same wonderful eye-opening experience again. But because I was already used to how things were looking and feeling, that second night was harder emotionally. So I started to see the world and see, like, I started to think more deeply about, about all these feelings that I'd had the night before. Because I'm like, okay, here we are again. And then I started to think about my life. I started to think about my childhood. I started to think about my relationships, my friendships, my exes, my just everything. It was just like I'm going from thing to thing to thing, and I'm drawing like through lines through my life. Oh, this trauma from when I was just old enough to remember a trauma. This has culminated into all of these little things. This is why you still do this thing, or this is why you still do that thing, or this is why you still see yourself this way. Um, there was a lot of that. It was like being in therapy, but no one speaks. You're sitting there
Mm.
and staring and sitting with it. And so you're doing it yourself that you don't have any real control over. And so I'm asking myself the questions that I need to but don't want to answer. Um, and
Mm.
can't stop any of it. Can't stop myself from thinking of the answer I want. Can't stop myself from doing everything I can to answer it, no matter how difficult, painful, or how introspective I have to be to do it. So that was even better, and I'm like, this is amazing. And then the music, and I'm like, music, oh, this is amazing. And then, uh-oh, crap, it's
Mm.
purge time. So I I still was like, oh, I don't want to purge. And still kept trying to resist, like, oh, I don't want to do this. And I was like, all right, all right. We saw what back purging was. We don't need to do that again. Um, so we're gonna do the purging everyone else does. And I was the newbie. They all did this several times. So it should be
Mm.
fine. It won't be bad.
Yeah.
And I'm not worried. I'm not like worried that, oh no, I'm gonna purge and someone else is gonna be bothered by it. Like they're not. No one
Okay.
is.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay. I grab my bucket and then I'm like, all right, and I'm like, okay, here it comes. So, when you drink too much and you throw up, it's horrible. And part of what makes it horrible is you start to, as it first happens, it's harder and harder and feels worse and worse. And you start to, depending on, you start to sober up really fast. So you
Mm,
start to come out of the being drunk, and now it's just like, oh, now I'm wide-eyed. My stomach hurts because I don't have much more liquid to give,
mhm.
and this now I'm just doing this. This could have been the stomach flu. This did not, because I don't feel drunk. I'm just sweating, and this is happening.
Right.
I hadn't thought about that part. So when you do ayahuasca, there are several rounds, usually like 3 rounds through the night, sometimes four, and you end up going back to get some more medicine, especially if you've purged in between. Well, I hadn't done that purging before, so you purge, you sober up, so to speak, so fast. And it is, and now it's like, oh God, not only do I feel none of the, oh, this is like, oh, I'm in this horrible moment. It's like you woke up and the pain was so sharp. I was like, oh, it was,
Oh,
oh man. So it was literally gut wrenching, like, oh, and you really feel like throwing up is always involuntary, at
yeah.
least it should be, with no fingers involved. But the um this was super involuntary, where it's like I have no control, and it's almost, when you think of it from a spiritual sense of like the evil spirits leaving your body. Yeah, yeah, this was straight exorcist moment. you know I don't know what color it was. Might have been like pea soup, like in the movie. It was tough. It was tough, and it was painful, and I hated that part so much.
Yeah.
But
Worth it. Worth it.
I went through, yeah, I went through, and then I got the next round of medicine. Someone came by and changed out my bag for the things I threw away,
Mm,
and and then I went back in, and yeah, it was totally worth it. It was totally worth it. And I went back. I did it a few more times. So, a few other weekends, I went back again, because I'm like, yeah, I mean, yeah, the purging, it's gonna suck, and you're gonna want to resist. And that's what everyone's like, don't be afraid to purge. And I'm like, oh,
uh-huh.
they were right. These stupid granola whites, they they're onto something. Um, and I like following some of the granola whites sometimes. This is a quick aside, is just because when I know that they're really, really onto something, I know it's because they found something in someone else's culture. And so, but they suss out the really dope shit in someone else's culture, and they're like, ooh, yes, we need this.
We need that one.
Like, we know as black people that, yeah, hip hop is like a dope way for us to express ourselves and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
But what really taught everybody how dope it was how white America reacted, like, oh, actually, there's something to this. This is super dope. And then they reached in and they were like, yeah, yeah, we need this in our lives. So then it's like, yep, our community did a good thing. We made some good stuff because they love it. So yeah, so it's that kind of thing too. So I'm like, all
Yeah.
right, so it's worth it. People should do it at least once in their lives. It'll change your perspective. It'll change how you view yourself, how you view the world, your relationship with the world and humanity. And, it'll at least get you to see it in a way that you may not have seen it before, to help you then later uh, think about it in a slightly different way, which is helpful. I recommend. 2 thumbs up.
Cool. I love how you just say two thumbs up without holding up two thumbs.
2 thumbs up, or two fingers. No, but two thumbs.
It's fine. It's fine. Um, Amazing. I love that you chose humor. I'm not surprised. And I also choose humor when I tell difficult things. You don't know my plant medicine stories, but I will tell you soon. We don't have time on here. But I'm gonna ask you this. And while you're thinking of this, I'll be pulling a card.
All right.
So is there a message that you would want to leave people with. It could be brotherly advice. It could be based on the way that you work or the way that you love or the things that you do to feel well or heal. So it's a very broad context you can pull from. I don't want you to feel judged and wherever you pull it from. Um, and what would you want to leave people with after this interesting conversation that was intense in parts and very, very funny at the same time?
All right. Are we pulling the card first or am I answering now?
You're answering now,
Okay.
and we're going to see if the woo woo magic matches them up.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Um, all right. Advice. Okay. Well, I'm 44. So I've been around a while, but not forever. I would say thus far, the best advice I would give to anyone and everyone is never forget that the world is a lot bigger than what you can currently see,
Mm-hmm.
and do everything you can to go and see a new piece of it, because that changes everything. You know, we all know that we should supposed to, be kind, be nice, or, or study, or do this, or accomplish, or blah, blah, blah. But nothing has ever had a bigger impact on my life when I sit and think, like, man, no matter what happening in my world, good and bad, there's so much happening over there that I can't see it right now, but it's there.
Mm-hmm.
And when I make that effort to just go see a piece of anything, anywhere, somewhere else, it always makes me better every time. I learn something, I witness something, I get a new core memory of a new adventure, something happens that I keep.
Well, I like it. I like it. Um, so two cards popped out, and then I also pulled the bottom of the deck because I very uncommonly put the deck face up where I see the bottom, but then I was like, actually, this relates to you. So you're not going to be able, anyway, I put it in where you'll be able to see it better later, but I will also hold it up. You got the Nine of Swords, or the collective got the Nine of Swords, which is often known as, they call it a Virgo card because we're prone to overthink. But it is an anxiety card. In this depiction of it, there's eight bird. They use birds for the swords, like in flight, in thought, in doing too much. And this woman is kind of downcast, but there's one bird that is bright. It's the outline. It's the other thing you see. Um, and I kind of feel like that relates to your plant medicine, where you saw people were in grayscale, which sounds scary when you're hearing about it, but you're seeing everyone stardust. So it's like look for the what else is in the mix of what you think could be weighing you down. There's actually another interpretation.
Yeah. That fits
We
with my advice too.
Yeah, it does. Yeah. And I didn't try to make it fit with your advice. Honestly, I thought this is the one that fit with your advice. Which
Maybe they
is
all will.
maybe they all will. This is the Fool. So the Fool is the beginning of the major arcana in tarot, and it's like new beginnings. It's beginner's luck, but it's also like try something new because you don't it could it probably won't go bad. So she's kind of getting ready to fall in backwards into this pool. It looks like it's gonna be awesome. Actually, there's also lots of connection points inside the pool. There's all these little stars connecting. So yeah, be willing to start again and
Yeah.
enjoy that journey.
I mean, there's a chance to drown, but
Unlikely.
yeah, be willing to jump into that pool because you're more likely to have an awesome life and awesome adventures when you put yourself out there than to drown the first time you jump into a pool.
Right.
although I'm very
Unless
good
you
at
let the
drowning.
fear of water or the fear of what you think the worst could be overtake you. Those are options as
Right.
well, but don't do that.
I only do that with actual water. I don't swim, can't swim. I'm a proficient drowner myself. But in life, super adventurous.
One more card.
Uh-oh.
Death and rebirth.
All right.
And it is this hit because it's to me it resonates with seeing people as nature is the way that this card is drawn. Um because it's technically it is the death spirit taking someone, but it's also like rebirth, like nature has a cycle. Um which came up a lot. You did a lot of naturey things in your spirit medicines. Um there's a lot of
Yeah.
stardust in all of I promise you there's not stardust in every deck in every card in this deck, but you got all these stardust ones. And then it's also like similar in the way that fool can be interpreted as starting again. It is the start of a journey always. This is kind of the point where you reassess and it's like, oh, things are, but we're doing it again with some knowledge. So,
Yeah. And that's what all of these journeys, these healing journeys do. I mean, I've
Mhm.
been reborn a lot, not in the blood of Christ, but I
I've
have
been
been
baptized twice.
reborn. Yeah. Yeah, I was baptized. But,
Mhm.
but in life and in healing and, when I went to therapy, yeah, it was like the death of my old self and I had rebirth, many times, you know. That's the other advice. Everyone go to therapy, like everybody. Like there's no such thing as a person who does not need therapy. Does not exist. If you are an adult, you need therapy. A hundred
Yeah.
percent you do. Uh, yeah. But to see new parts of ourselves, to have these experiences, to do ayahuasca, or to do these things every time, it's a way to be reborn because when you're reborn, your life is different. Everything's different. You let some old ideas and thoughts die and you let some new ones take hold and your life takes on new directions, new meaning, new purpose. It's good. I love it.
Awesome. Well, thank you for sharing so openly. Um,
You're welcome.
yeah, I feel like this has a lot of value in it for me, but for a lot of people. And I know sometimes you get caught up in it's just sometimes you don't feel that you have a lot to offer, but you do. And I think everybody who listened to this also experienced that. So thank you.
Thank you.
And I will see you around the way. Bye.
You will.